Hello, grade 6 students. Today is the beginning of the sixth week in our academic year, and we're going to start with the second chapter in our textbook. The chapter is titled What Changes? This is an introductory presentation for the main topics that we will discuss in this chapter. As it is known that science enables us to change the form of matter into useful materials that can make the world a better place. So, it's very essential to learn about the changes in matter and how can we change certain types of materials into useful ones. You may think about what are things made from, or how do we classify materials? You may wonder what changes in materials do we observe every day? Or you may try to find how do physical changes happen or how do chemical changes happen. All these questions are factual questions that we will discuss in this chapter. However, the main conceptual questions that we will discuss in this chapter are how might physical and chemical changes help us to manipulate materials, and what does purity mean in science? So, guys, at the end of this session, you have to be able to classify materials as natural or artificial, to describe the three states of matter in terms of volume and shape, state the SI units of volume and mass, and you should be able to convert units of volume between meter cube and centimeter cube and units of mass between kilogram and gram. So, up in your books, page 18, where you're going to find figure 2.1. Figure 2.1 shows us different kinds of materials. What you have to do is that you will observe the given materials in this figure and you will use the keyword box in order to continue or to complete organizing your ideas in table 2.1 on page 19. So for this activity, pause the video. You can take around 5 minutes to complete this table. A simple introduction will start by thinking about the earliest times when people have used the materials they found around them to make new things. Now, at first, humans fashioned natural materials into new forms to make useful things that made life easier. Later, humans transformed the natural materials that they were using before into artificial materials that suit their needs more. So humans tried to create or to find from the natural materials new materials that will fit their developed needs or to satisfy their needs more. So here are some examples of the natural materials. The clay look as if it's a kind of soil. The leather, mainly the leather, it has an animal origin. The wood, the rubber is extracted from a special kind of tree, and the metal is mainly extracted also from certain kind of rocks. This slide shows us different kinds of artificial materials. For example, synthetic clothes, polyester, plastic, and nylon. But each and every day, believe me, we are using many of the artificial materials that are so helpful and so useful for our daily activities. So, in brief, natural materials are materials that come from plants, animals, and rocks. However, artificial materials are materials that are obtained from natural materials through chemical processing. This is a practical example that shows us that artificial materials are made from natural materials. So, let's start. Plastic is an artificial material. Now, plastic is produced from petroleum, and petroleum is a natural material. So, plastic, that is an artificial material, is originally produced from petroleum, which is natural material. So, artificial materials come from natural materials. At the end, this is a short activity to check whether you can differentiate between natural materials and artificial materials. On your copybooks, copy this table and classify the given materials as natural or artificial ones. And once you are done, let's discuss, why do you think tire nowadays is more durable than the tire in the ancient times? Thank you for attending this session. By this, we are done with the Chapter 2 Introductory presentation. Still, you have to watch the second video in order to know more about describing the states of matter in terms of the mass and the volume, and what are the SI units for measuring the mass and the volume. And we will learn how to convert the units of volume between meter cube and centimeter cube, and how to convert the units of mass between kilogram and gram.